We had some people who decided to go get that swarm night and try to capture some video. They caught some great video. I want to use that to show you what you do after you go to a big event and catch a lot of video. What do you do with that? How do you progress? So, of course, the first thing we got to do is we got to put the footage in. So they put their file, they look, and you should have it in list view so you can see date modified and see that yesterday was the last day modified. And so these are your files. They drag them on here, they put them in the network. So they go to AV, latest footage, turn in here. Always turn your latest footage in there. That way I know exactly where to look. They made a folder called Swarm Night, and that's where they put it. So just drag it straight into the folder called Swarm Night. And then, of course, you have a whole bunch of files called MVI. Well, you need to rename those. One group slowly went through and looked at each of their files and renamed them. Now, remember, I said I wanted the topic at the beginning of the file name, the specifics in the middle, the date included, and then your name at the end. So these are the ones that they did, and I appreciate them taking all that time. There is a quicker way, so I want to show you that. So you can click the bottom one that you want to change, hold down Shift, click the top one that you want to change, and now I'm going to go to Action, and I am going to rename 34 items. That's what I had selected. Let's see. So I've already used this before. You could replace text. So I would find MVI. They all started with MVI. And replace that with Swarm 1019. That should go at the beginning. But since they've already renamed those, they don't have MVI anymore. So I'm just going to take this, and I'm just going to add text. And where do I want to add it? Well, I want to add it before the name. I want to think about if I want to do this first. You know what? I have all this on this one reporter, so let's add their name after it first. Because we want to know who our videographers were that were using their content. So I'm going to go to Action, rename 34 items. Let's go add text after name. After the name, I'm going to have underscore, and it was Lewis and Carlene. I don't need your last name unless I have another one of you. You could just put your first name. We'll remember. So we're adding that after all those files. And now you can see it slowly adding our videographers. So we quickly have that nice and updated. Okay, now I want to add the topic before, and then they have the content in the middle, so it's perfect. Theirs is perfectly labeled. Yuvia didn't get to it, so I added Swarm before, her name after, and then she'll, as she watches through, go through and change the middle to reflect what's in there. So anyway, Action, rename 34 items. This time, add text before the name. Command V, Swarm 1019, that's the month and the year. And I have an underscore to separate it. So now I'm going to rename. Okay, and they're all coming up right here. So now we have quickly renamed all of our files. Next thing you want to do is review your files and specifically name them by topic, which is what Lewis and Carlene had already done. While you're doing that, make double good use of your time by thinking about which ones am I going to use, which ones have good audio to use, which ones have good video, and so which shots am I going to use and what am I going to say in between. So with most of this, you're just looking for giving an overview. Now, they did get a few interviews. So interviews are your starting spot. Are we going to use these interviews to tell the story? Are they descriptive enough? Or are we just going to have an anchor kind of describe the story, maybe pop in an interview somewhere? So I'm looking for the ones that say interview. I believe there are only two. This one.
What club is this?
So this is Mesquite High School Boys Soccer Club.
Oops, I'm sorry. So first of all, we're missing something that we need in every interview. You know what it is? We need that name. We need that title. We need it spelled out so that we can put a lower third here. Now we have to go figure out who this guy is. Luckily, I know it's Coach Elia, but it would be good to have that on camera in case I didn't.
Do here to stand.
So here, we're representing Mesquite High School soccer, and then we're also promoting it. And so for anyone that's walking by, whether they're younger or currently at the school, they get a taste of what Mesquite High School soccer is like, some of our success that we've had, and then they can meet some of the players that we have here as well.
Okay. Nice overview of their soccer table. This would be something that would be good to use. What we need, as we're listening to the interview, we're thinking about what pictures need to go with what he says. So we need to see the group at the table, some of the different soccer guys, and some of the activity. Okay, so interview, soccer coach, describes, table. The audio wasn't mic'd, but it is good enough that we could use it. We just need to get the video along with that to show their part of the table, and he could tell their part of the night's story. Let's go ahead and put the name of that file. So I'm just going to click rename, but I'm not going to rename. I'm going to Command C that. And now I know what's happening and where it is. So I got a little outline of that going on right there. Okay. And we had one more interview in the night. I believe it was Yuvia's interview. I labeled this when I found it. So, library interview. Let's see what they say.
Coloring one right now. Right here. Coloring the outside yellow that says, "Someday we will become something we haven't even yet imagined." And we're also doing a reading part over here. So, it's called Dreamers. We have it in English. And then we also have it in Spanish. Coloring one right now.
Okay. So again, with this one, we're missing her name. We missed the first part of the story, but we are going to integrate this into our package. So I'm going to go ahead and hit rename. And I'm going to put, that's an interview. Girl, I don't know who, we didn't get her name, describes library activities. Okay. We will pair this with any library activities we see in our footage, and we'll pair this with any soccer activities. So I'm just going to put a note, pair with soccer shots. That means soccer shots from Swarm Night, like not soccer players actually playing. Pair with library shots. Okay. So those are our two interviews. We're definitely going to want to incorporate that in there. But now we need to look at the rest of the footage. We want to know which has good audio, because we like an audio track in the background and we can fade between them so we have a nice beat going on from the scene. But then we want good video as well. And we want to know what should be included in the script for our anchors. I believe this video is getting a little long, so we'll review the footage in the next one.